Hello everyone and welcome to the Waffle Flower channel. It's Shannon here, and today I'm going to be showing you one of our new stamp sets from our spring 2017 release. This stamp set is called Stitched Unicorn. It is a cross-stitch layering stamp set. It has two unicorns, one right there that I'm showing you. The layers are all circled or grouped together, so it's very easy to tell which stamp goes with what layer. And for these two unicorns, they both have two layers and an eye. So really cute, and there's lots of little elements that help you create a scene. I really had a lot of fun playing with this stamp set. I'm going to start with the oval unicorn. I'm going to ink it up in cracked pistachio distressed oxide ink and just stamp it on the left side of my panel. I'll eventually cut this panel down into two, but I'm going to create basically two panels on this one panel, just so you can see a couple images together. Okay, now I'm going to show you one of my favorite techniques with these cross-stitch stamp sets. I'm going to take a darker shade. This is actually Waffle Flower Dye ink called Peace of Mind, and I'm inking up the lower portion of the oval and parts of the mane on this unicorn. When I stamp this, you'll see it, but it'll create a gradation. It will go from darker to lighter. I really like to do this with these cross-stitch stamp sets because it just adds a bit of detail, a bit of interest to the image. So I'll stamp it here, and you can already see before I lift my MISTI up, the bit of gradation. See, there's the gradation. It goes from kind of a darker to lighter, adds a little bit of interest. I really like to do this with these cross-stitch stamp sets. Okay, now I'm going to show you how I position my stamps. So with layering stamp sets, position matters a lot. And if you use your acetate that your stamps come on, this is the actual acetate. I removed my stamps and then I positioned it exactly where that stamp should go. That second layer of the unicorn should go. And once I get in the right place, I take the stamp and place it directly on top of those printed X's, the X's that are printed on the acetate, match them up, and then pick up the stamp with my MISTI. That ensures that my stamp is in the exact spot that it needs to be. This is a great tip for any layering stamp sets. It really helps you with positioning your stamps. I just stamped the unicorn a couple times in the tickled pink to get a nice bold image, and now I'm going to take a Rosebud Memento ink, and I'm going to ink up portions of that unicorn to create that gradation again, and again that adds just a little bit of interest and a little bit of pop. I'm inking up around the neck, around the chin, the horn, and the ear. And if I get a little bit too much ink, I just take my finger and pick up some of the ink, and that also softens that transition between the darker shade to the lighter shade. And you'll see how that little bit of darker ink really does help that image to pop a little bit. And now I will stamp the eye. So there's a little tiny eye right there that comes with that unicorn. That's the last stamp for that unicorn, and then I'll stamp the sentiment. The sentiment is Your Magical, which is perfect for this unicorn stamp set. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the smaller unicorn. I'm going to stamp the tail and the mane in tickled pink, and then use the Rosebud again on the tail and the mane just to create that gradation. And now I'm going to show you once more how I position my stamps. So I've got the acetate again. I'm lining it up, positioning it up. This is the image for the second layer for this unicorn. I'm lining it up, and when I get it into the right spot, I'm going to grab my magnets, place them down to hold that acetate down, and now I'll grab my stamp, and I will take this stamp as soon as I get it here. I will take this stamp and I will line it up directly on top of those cross-stitch X's that are printed on the acetate. And it's it's surprising how easy this is to do. It seems like a clear stamp, this should be hard to line up, but it's not. It's actually very easy. Once you get it lined up, you can tell because all of a sudden all those little printed X's become very clear. So this really does help to use that acetate to help you position your stamps. Okay, I just inked up that portion of the unicorn with the cracked pistachio distressed oxide ink again. And now I'm taking this beam, I guess, and I'm repeatedly stamping it. I'm stamping it multiple times in different shades and to create a rainbow when it's all done. So I'll move to blue, and then I'll do purple, and then I'll do a pink shade. And I just really like rainbows with unicorns. It just really works. And it's really easy to do, or easy to create with that beam. There's a big star and several smaller stars in the stamp set that help you kind of create like a kind of celestial scene. And I did also, on that big star, ink it up with a darker shade, like an orange shade, to make that star kind of have that gradation as well. And there's a third stamp, or an additional stamp I should say, that creates this mobile. It's like a tiered mobile, and you can hang the stars that come with the set, and there's even a heart from that mobile, and just there's so much versatility with that stamp set. Okay, these are the Stitch Scallop Die. These dies, I think, are just an awesome addition to all these Stitch stamp sets that are coming out in this release. These dies, there's 3 of them. There's like a small, medium, and a large. They actually cut the paper. You won't have a scallop cut out, but you will have all those little lines will be cut. And the little lines are in that scallop formation, and they'll all be cut in your paper. And I like that because as opposed to score lines or embossing lines, these just really show up. They really pop when they're actually cut into the paper. So I'm going to take this panel. This is from the larger panel that I was stamping on earlier in my MISTI. I cut it down into 2 smaller panels, and now I am going to, or I just did, I should say, I used those 2 scallop dies to die cut scallops on the lower portion of that panel. And you can see there how much they pop, how that the fact that they actually cut the paper really adds to the element. You can really see it. So here are all 3 cards that I created with the Stitched Unicorn stamp set. There are 3 other stitched stamp sets or cross-stitch stamp sets. The cactus, a tea set, cup of tea, and roses. These will all be released or available for purchase March 9th. You guys do not want to miss it. These stitch sets are so fun. They are really a great addition to your collection.